The storm struck here in St. Croix as a Category 5 hurricane last night. A hurricane warning remains in effect for the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Hurricane Maria still bringing some strong winds and extremely heavy rain across Puerto Rico. Many places already picking up a couple feet of rain in the last 24 hours.
And with that comes the widespread power outages. The Weather Channel's Paul Goodlow is there in San Juan with a closer look at the conditions.
The sun is setting here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We're about, 12 hours or more now since landfall of Category 4 Hurricane Maria came through this area and laid waste to it as well. In fact, one of the victims right here, street sign, ripped off this pole here. Now, look around. There is still a lot of debris, a lot of damage, not only from today in Maria, but also because of Irma a couple of weeks ago. We're staying at the Hyatt Place Hotel. We have a generator, but their sister hotel across the street, the Hyatt House, take a look. It's in the dark. Unfortunately, their generator has failed. So now they're pulling everyone out of that hotel because it's just not safe. That means they have no running water anymore, no hot water, but no air conditioning. And again, as we head on towards tomorrow, we'll probably see a lot more sunshine. It is going to heat up again because, again, we're in the tropics. So look for temperatures to be quite uncomfortable with humidity as cleanup begins the day after Hurricane Maria.
Thanks so much, Paul. And it could take weeks, if not months, for recovery across the island.
And we want to get right to our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knabb here, who joins us. And Dr. Knabb, we've already seen extensive damage to Dominica and St. Croix, St. Thomas, but we don't really know, and we don't know the full extent of any of those areas either right now. And it's still unfolding in Puerto Rico. What's the biggest unknown that you wish you knew right now when it comes to what's going on in Puerto Rico?
Well, because we still have rain falling, we know we have river gauges going way over their record levels in Puerto Rico. We don't know how bad the flooding is, and we don't know how much destruction is occurring due to the flash flooding. And it's happening right now, so it may be some time before we know how many communities in Puerto Rico have experienced devastating flooding. But that is the fear right now in many portions of the island. This is not just San Juan we're talking about. We're talking about the numerous communities all the way from west to east and north to south in Puerto Rico that are still getting heavy rain even as we speak. Just because the center of the Category 2 hurricane is offshore to the northwest doesn't mean the event is over. Far from it. You're getting this southerly flow into the mountainous terrain of Puerto Rico, and we already, based on the rainfall that has already occurred, which is in feet, 2, 3 or more feet of rainfall in some spots, that we have numerous river gauges that are at major flood stage, and arguably some of them not operating fully anymore because they've just been topped of what their operational capability is, and we could be seeing catastrophic flooding. Closer look shows, even though we don't have radar functioning in Puerto Rico, the satellite imagery from GO-16, those really cold cloud tops, likely indicative of very heavy rainfall. And just to give you a sampling, we can't possibly list all of them out, but going across different parts of the island, over in Aguadilla, there's a flash flood warning in effect till 8:45 p.m. And then in the central part of the island, north central, just west of San Juan, this is the Rio de la Plata River Basin that includes Dorado here at the coast and Comerío farther upslope. This is a flash flood emergency, and they can't really get a good handle on just how high the water has gotten along the river. They just know that it's indicative of potentially catastrophic flooding, and that's in effect till 8:15 local time, but that could easily be extended. And then we have a new flash flood warning in effect till midnight local time that does include San Juan and Catano and Cedro and Guaynabo. So this is just a sampling of what's occurring throughout the island. So we could have a flash flooding catastrophe unfolding right before our eyes right now in Puerto Rico. And unfortunately, Chris and Liana, there is more rain to come, especially on the southern side of the island, where they're going to continue to get that onshore flow as the hurricane slowly departs.
And Dr. Knabb, we're hearing that half of the neighborhoods across San Juan are flooded, and we have some new video showing some of the damage as well, some of the wind damage, and a reminder that power is going to be out for a very long time.
Then we also have the mayor of San Juan telling us a short time ago, Maria caused widespread destruction across the city.
We started receiving without electric power. Most of the island does not have any water or sewage systems working at this point in time. I can tell you that in San Juan, about half of our communities are fully flooded, and the devastation is overwhelming.
Yeah, talk about overwhelming, even just seeing the images that we have right now. And we're going to continue seeing more troubling and sad images as we get through the next several days. And the thing is, Maria is not the only storm making trouble in the Atlantic.
That's right. We're also watching Jose along the East Coast, which could have impacts for days in the Northeast, especially in coastal communities. And you can stay with us. We have live coverage through 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
I take pictures of sunrises, but with my back pain, I couldn't sleep and get up in time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve.
I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Oh, you brought Butch.
Yeah.
He's looking at me right now, isn't he?
Yep.
Butch is like an old soul that just hates my guts.
You can never have too many faithful companions.
Introducing the all-new Crosstrek. Love is out there. Find it in a Subaru Crosstrek.
For a limited time, you can get this fresh, juicy Boston Market rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. Now, your next few dinners are taken care of. Boston Market.
It's been building up over decades. And through 35 years of severe weather, it's strengthened into trust. Trust in the Weather Channel. To us, nothing matters more. Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 67. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain, 80%. Thursday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Thursday night, a few clouds from time to time. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 69. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you're in a spot without power, you have not been forgotten. If you feel like you're abandoned, you are not. We're still in this together. The Weather Channel continues to give you coverage. We're going to get through this.
Introducing the new Range Rover Velar. Land Rover above and beyond.
Dogs used to hunt to satisfy their cravings. Now, the hunt is over. New Peak from Rachel Ray Nutrish. Made with 30% protein and 0% grains, real beef or turkey is the #1 ingredient, combined with venison, duck, or quail. Satisfy your dog's cravings with protein-rich Peak, one of the specialty recipes from Nutrish. Real recipes, real ingredients, real good.
New video showing conditions on the island of Antigua today as Maria passed over. Winds over tropical storm force were reported there, along with big waves. You can see the trees swaying with those winds, and the waves come crashing through. There's reports of power outages across the island as Maria devastated the region.
And Puerto Rico taking a big, huge punch from Hurricane Maria. And we're looking at pictures and video, I should say, from the southern coast, the southern side of Puerto Rico, as the storm was passing through the eye of it, not too far from where this video was taken. And we're looking at two of the big issues here. On the right, it was the very strong winds bringing down trees and power lines. But on the left is what unfortunately is likely unplaying right now through several communities in Puerto Rico at the moment. Several inches of rain have already come down, and the rain is still coming down with a lot more to go. Hurricane Maria still raking Puerto Rico, and people in the U.S. Virgin Islands are somewhat in recovery mode. They have a lot to deal with as well.
Yeah, many spent the day cleaning up across the region. The storm was a Category 5 hurricane when it slammed St. Croix last night. Storm tracker Scott Peak joins us now on the phone in St. Croix to share what it's been like in the hours following Maria. So thank you so much for joining us. What have you seen across the island?
Well, I took a 2-mile walk down to Frederickstead, and I saw that just like everywhere else, lots of vegetation stripped of the leaves. I could see the rainforest up in the mountain completely stripped bare.
Have you had a chance to speak with anybody? Anybody maybe at a hotel or out on the street, emergency officials? If so, is there anything that anybody's said to you that really kind of stands out about this storm?
Well, yes, actually, as a matter of fact, I did. I've had a few people, especially one person, tell me this is reminiscent of Hugo to them. They said Irma was nothing compared to what we just had with Maria, and I can see that. We still have buildings standing here, but there's heavy damage because a lot of the tree debris went flying and crashed into windows and compromised roofs. So it's and I could see that from just going down the street.
Now, what about your personal experience when the storm pushed through the area? What was it like?
I'm sorry, you cut out. Say that one more time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was asking, what was your personal experience last night as Maria pushed through the area?
Yes. So personal experience, the last interview I think I had close to, it was before 11 o'clock, I did in my bedroom that I had, and I had to close the door because the windows, the sliding door windows are starting to bow in. Right as the Maria was just going to our south, about 15 miles to our south, and the hurricane shutters were whistling and groaning at the same time. So it got really intense there. You could hear the roar, the low roar, as the wind was going through the trees outside.
And now that we're seeing the video, when it's daylight and we're getting, different pictures, different accounts, is there anything that you've seen that video just can't capture? You've seen, heard, or smelled that video just can't capture?
I'd have to say yes. Just the fact that the vegetation was completely stripped bare. There's only a couple palm trees scattered around that have leaves on them at all. But it's the fact that the vegetation. There was houses up this hill next to my hotel. I didn't even know we were there until I woke up this morning and saw, because all the leaves are gone.
All right, Scott Peak, Storm Tracker there. We certainly appreciate your account from the U.S. Virgin Islands.
And continuing coverage continues tonight.
I want the most out of my health and life, so I trust Nature Made vitamins. Because they were the first to be verified by USP for quality and purity standards, and because I recommend them as a pharmacist.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
When you schedule with Safe Flight Auto Glass, you get time for more life. This family wanted to keep the game going.
Hey, Mom, one more game?
With Safe Flight, you get a text when we're on our way. You can see exactly when we'll arrive.
Sure. Bring it.
I'm Michael with Safe Flight.
Thanks for coming. It's right over here.
Giving you a few more minutes for what matters most.
Take care. Bye. Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace.
How can I help you today?
Yeah, I need to file a claim. My central air stopped working and needs to be replaced.
Oh, sorry, your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover air conditioners.
So what do you cover?
Well, home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse.
Covered.
But not my air conditioner.
But his air conditioner would have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, from his electrical system to his water heater, and more. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But award-winning American Home Shield helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Get an American Home Shield home warranty. For valuable free information, call 1-800-516-7937. Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield.
Recently, you may have been notified that your personal information was compromised as part of a data breach. Sign up today, and LifeLock will begin monitoring your personal information. And, if needed, take steps to help restore your identity.
Membership starts at $9.99 per month. Sign up today. LifeLock.
I count on my Dell Small Business Advisor for tech advice. With one phone call, I get products that suit my needs, and I get back to business.
It's been building up over decades, storm after storm. And through 35 years of severe weather, it's strengthened into trust. Trust in the Weather Channel. To us, nothing matters more. We take you beyond the maps and apps, diving into the science and stories behind the storm. Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust the Weather Channel.
Attention Actos users. The FDA has warned about the risk of taking the type 2 diabetes drug Actos, and now the manufacturer has been ordered to pay a staggering $9 billion in punitive damages for hiding evidence that Actos causes bladder cancer. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with bladder cancer after taking Actos, you may be eligible to receive a substantial cash award. Do not delay. You must act before the deadlines pass to file a claim. Call the Rely On Group now. You will be connected with an experienced attorney for a free consultation and to see if you may qualify for financial compensation. There is absolutely no risk on your part, and you don't owe us a penny unless we're successful. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with bladder cancer after taking the diabetes drug Actos, call the Rely On Group now at 800-883-7153 for a free consultation. That's 800-883-7153.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 67. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Thursday night, a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 69. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is some new video into the Weather Channel from earlier today from Puerto Rico, showing that very rough surf, the dangerous waves crashing on shore, product of the wind. And the video was shot not too long ago. This as Hurricane Maria began to just start pulling away from San Juan. Waves offshore at times around 20 feet as the storm was pushing away or moving away. Now dealing with some very strong winds and heavy rain. And this is what that looks like. Some of the heavy downpours and the strong winds creating damage, causing power outages. San Juan's mayor says they could be out of power potentially for the next 4 to 6 months. Can you imagine that? being out of power for a half a year. Some serious stuff here. I mean, we're talking more than an inconvenience, a life-threatening situation here. Beyond the power, there's dangerous, potentially catastrophic flooding going on right now. And this is an example of just why it's so scary. Now, while we can look here and see that the winds are 110 miles an hour, it's Category 2 storm, that's in the heart of this, that's moving away from Puerto Rico. However, what's still moving into Puerto Rico is the moisture. And these purple colors are an indication of where there is some extremely heavy rain coming down. This storm has already battered the Caribbean. First, on Monday night into Tuesday morning, we watched this massive storm plow across Dominica and then gather even more strength during the day, afternoon, and evening yesterday, and then overnight tonight, last night, and into this morning. We saw St. Croix, and then through Vieques and St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands were in this, and now we're watching it pull away. But the rain, and we were talking about this last night here on the Weather Channel, the fact that the flooding, the freshwater flooding, so basically when we say freshwater flooding, we're talking about flooding because of the extensive rainfall. So many rivers already in major flood stage with more rain on the way. Again, another look, Liana, at all of the major flooding happening, not just major flooding, unfortunately, but way beyond record flooding.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a crazy active hurricane season, Chris, and we still have Tropical Storm Jose that's reaching and impacting the Northeast. Right now, you're looking at Belmore, New York. The storm that's been lingering off the East Coast is responsible for bringing down this huge tree. It happened in that neighborhood in Belmore, and it still remains under a coastal flood and high surf advisory. And you aren't alone. Boston, let's head over to you. We're taking you live. Off and on showers will continue through the rest of tonight. You also had wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. We still have a wind advisory currently in effect for the region as well. And Tropical Storm Jose, it's not really moving that much. And unfortunately, it's going to be several days, a couple more days, where we see the impacts being felt across the Northeast, including Cape Cod. Let's take a look at Jose right now. Winds are currently at 65 miles per hour, moving northeast at 8 miles per hour, and the pressure is at 979 millibars. Now, a lot of the rain is still offshore, but check out Cape Cod. We're still seeing the little first band of bright green right there. That's indicating some light rain across the area, but we still have a few sprinkles impacting Boston a little bit further inland. So that will continue. Jose not really moving that much, but along with the rain, we do have the concern for waves, and the wave heights will continue to increase. We're looking at the wave heights right now, bullseye of about 14 feet right in the center of Jose, but a little bit further out, closer to 8 feet. And we'll start seeing these higher numbers just kind of flirt along the coastline as we get closer into Thursday as well as into Friday.
It's never enough to just open your business. You need to get the word out. From business cards and banners to expertly packed shipments to mailboxes with a real street address. Everything your customers see tells a story. Go to the UPS store today for help. Make a great first impression with the Marcus Lemonis print collection. Shop now for 30% off.
Today's Best Western is more rewarding than ever. Rewards members get our best rates and points that never expire. Fast forward to a free night by earning double rewards points with every stay. Go get rewarded. Book now at bestwestern.com.
The moment you realize you're lucky your backyard is in the back.
At Lowe's, we'll help you find the lawn care products perfect for your yard so you can get back to enjoying it.
Hurry into Lowe's and get up to 50% off select Scott's Easy Seed.
Dermatologists recommend Cetaphil for sensitive skin. It hydrates for 24 hours. Women recommend Cetaphil because of how it makes them feel. Healthy skin is Beautiful. Cetaphil.
I love your vest.
Your crochet purses have wonderful eyes.
In the modern world, an app can help you find your perfect match. And with eSurance, Coverage Counselor can help you find great coverage that's a perfect match too. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. eSurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
Patrick woke up with back pain, but he has work to do.
So he took a leave. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve, all day strong.
I just want to find a used car without getting ripped off.
Start at thenewcarfax.com.
Show me used trucks with one owner.
Pretty cool.
Show me the Carfax.
Start your used car search at theallnewcarfax.com.
We all want restful sleep. That's why Nature's Bounty Melatonin is made to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. So you'll be ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Because mom's love is unconditional, even at 6 a.m. Nature's Bounty Melatonin. We're all better off healthy. Nature's Bounty knows healthy cholesterol starts in your gut. So we made Cardio Health, an innovative way to support healthy cholesterol containing LRC, a probiotic strain that helps you metabolize dietary cholesterol. Because we all want to be healthy for whatever comes next. Nature's Bounty Cardio Health.
Cologuard, colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
I'm here for an important reason, colon cancer screening. There's a bunch of places where screening wouldn't be easy, like here, or here. Nope. But here's a place you can screen for colon cancer anytime, with Cologuard, in private, without any special prep. There really is no place like home.
Cologuard is not right for everyone, so ask your doctor if it's right for you.
As hurricane season continues, there is one place to turn to and to trust. Preparing you to stay safe. Experts tracking every possible path. Every season, every storm, every time you watch. Trust in the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under clear skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 67. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday, mostly cloudy. Thursday night, a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 69. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The entire island is without electric power. The island does not have any water or sewage systems. The roads are all blocked. People have lost their homes, have lost their memories, have lost anything. The devastation is overwhelming.
Thank you for staying with continuing coverage of Hurricane Maria and the destruction in its wake. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Liana Brackett. New video continuing to stream into our newsroom today. We have new video to show you coming to us from San Juan. Look at the flooding right there. The mayor's saying half of the city is seeing flooding like this. And you can see how high it reaches on some of the cars and some of the building. It's heading into this building right over here to the right. People are just, it's incredible just to see how someone can actually get through these horrible flooding waters. And it's not just San Juan that's experiencing this. All across St. Croix and Puerto Rico are experiencing these flooding waters.
What's scary to think is in the days to come, we may look back on this video and say these people were the lucky ones. That's what's so scary about what's happening right now when it comes to the flooding in San Juan. I mean, this is devastating as it is for these people. But it's possible we're seeing communities getting washed away right now. We're going to get a closer look at that from our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Nava, in just a moment on that ongoing flooding situation. But first, we did hear from the mayor of San Juan about the town and just how hard it was hit by Hurricane Maria.
I would say kind of impatient about having Maria leave our shores so that we can get on with the reconstruction and recovery. part of any search that needs to be done to see really what the damage is, not only in the terms of the human sense, but also in the terms of the social sense. How many people have lost their homes, have lost their memories, have lost anything?
All right, and unfortunately, we don't know the extent of how many people have lost their homes, and we hope there hasn't been massive loss of life either. We hope not one person has been killed, but Dr. Knabb, it's hard to imagine with what we know that this is not going to turn out to be an absolute nightmare scenario for some communities.
Yeah, because the flooding and potentially catastrophic flooding is ongoing even as we speak. You know, we often think of landfall as kind of being the end of it, right? Well, once the worst comes ashore in terms of the winds, well, okay, then it's just you know, lingering winds and rain bands. But this is torrential rainfall continuing to fall in Puerto Rico on top of the 2 to 3 feet that has already fallen in some spots.
We saw the lingering effects after the wind story was gone with Matthew, with the heavy rain. And a reminder, well, this is a different situation. No two storms are the same and no two areas are the same, but it's a reminder that even after the winds may be gone, that the rain's going to stick around, and unfortunately, this is scary stuff.
Yeah, and you can have water-related disasters, flood disasters, and tropical storms. And when you've got a major hurricane and it's not all that tiny of a circulation anymore, this makes it even worse. So we don't have radar data, but we have pretty good indication from the satellite here that the rainfall is still very heavy. We do have an intermediate public advisory from the Hurricane Center. It's still Category 2, 110 miles an hour, pressure at 958. That is based on Hurricane Hunter data. They took off from Curacao a little while ago. They've made one pass southwest to northeast. Preliminarily, the data confirming we've still got the Category 2 hurricane moving northwest. So it is moving away from Puerto Rico, but not fast enough and not a small enough hurricane that the rain has stopped. And with the rain that's already fallen, we've got numerous river gauges in major flood stage across the entire island. And looking a little bit more closely, if I could envision what the radar might look like if we had it, you could envision this nasty band on the eastern side still kind of expanding away from the center of circulation in terms of the redevelopment of banding that's coming in from the south. And when you've got the complex terrain, the mountains in the middle of the island, anything that coming in from the south is going to squeeze out additional moisture, especially in the southern part of the island, but the whole island getting very heavy rain right now.
But even when you imagine it also coming in from the west?
Yes, over here on the west side of the island.
Right.
Absolutely. But the worst terrain effects with regard to enhancing the rainfall rates is going to be coming in from the south even long after the center has gone far away. We're going to have, look at all these bands still out here in the Virgin Islands. So it's going to rain well into Thursday, and that's why this is such a dangerous situation. Here, a relatively new flash flood warning that does include San Juan and Cedro and Guaynabo. These are just flash flood warnings all over the island, and it's because the rainfall that's already happened is causing the rivers to be way above normal, above what we can even measure with the gauge system there, and then more rain's falling on top of that.
So I think what's so frightening and scary about this, Dr. Knabb, is the fact, how do you warn or communicate about an event that has never happened before?
Well, part of the strategy was to get a lot of people out of extremely vulnerable areas that they know in the past have experienced flash floods and mudslides. So a lot of people were told to get out before the hurricane even got there. Now, in this case, you read the Weather Service flash flood emergencies and flash flood warnings. The statements say, get to higher ground now. This is an extremely life-threatening situation, so they're trying to warn people on short notice. If you're still in some flood-prone areas that are under these warnings, to get to as high ground as you possibly can.
Because you would think, I mean, if you've lived in a home, your family's lived there for generations, and you've lived through the worst of flooding down there, right? And it's never been this high now.
Yeah, when it's unprecedented and setting records, it can overwhelm a lot of systems and a lot of people. But again, hopefully, if people didn't get out, they're listening to these warnings and they're getting to as high ground as they possibly can. And I wanted to show you what this area near Colma Rio is. This is a river basin that has been under a flash flood emergency during the evening tonight, and I suspect it's been reissued, and we'll try to update you on that when that happens. But this is just one example of a community that's upslope, say about 600 feet above sea level, but look at the big mountains around it. And here is that river, Rio de la Plata, flowing through town. We've had that river gauge there that went above its operating capability. We don't know how high the water got. All the Weather Service office in San Juan can presume from that is that the water has gotten so high, higher than it's ever been, unprecedented, that it's got to be catastrophic flooding for these folks.
They're not hopping in their car. These bridges could be gone. When they say seek higher ground, you're meaning walk out the back door and head up the hill.
Find a way to get to higher ground before the floodwaters overcome where you are, yes. There's no easy way to deal with this, but in these kinds of overwhelming flash flood emergencies, it's do whatever you can to get to higher ground to save your life. And here's Comerío, here's where the river gauge is, and then this river flows down from this elevated location toward the north coast of Puerto Rico. And you see the river flowing through pretty well-populated areas. I mean, these are folks who live up in the mountains that are very susceptible to flash flooding and mudslides. And then here is a community called San Jose. Here comes the river. And you can see this area. This is kind of a floodplain, but people live right next to it. This would be a typical floodplain. I'm sure the river is bringing some water into these communities in this very atypical situation. And then it goes farther north to the northern coast of Puerto Rico in the Dorado area. A wonderful community here. I even have met some people who live in this area, and the river comes flowing through here out to the Atlantic Ocean. So even if you didn't get the rainfall here necessarily, the rain that fell in the mountains causes the river to come raging down to your low-lying community.
All right, Dr. Nab, this is some scary stuff with more rain on the way.
I hate to say it, but there's maybe another foot of rainfall to come again, especially on that southern shore of Puerto Rico.
So coming up in a few minutes, you're going to talk about the potential scenarios after, right, once it gets beyond.
Yeah, quick look at the track forecast. It takes it north in between North Carolina and Bermuda. Can't rule out U.S. East Coast impacts.
All right, talk about that coming up. Liana?
All right, thank you so much, guys. And Dr. Nat, that was extremely fascinating. Thank you again. We want to talk about the wind gusts. You guys covered the rain. Now the wind threat, and the top wind gusts across Puerto Rico from Maria was Isla Culebrita, and that was at 137 miles per hour. Now, a lot of these have kind of died off just a little bit. Check out this buoy at 36 miles per hour, but we can still expect those gusts continuing. Notice a few missing observations as well due to the intensity in Maria. Now taking a look at the forecast as we get through tonight and into tomorrow, we see those strongest winds and those red shades continuing to push a little bit further towards the northeast of Turks and Caicos.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 67. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday, mostly cloudy. Thursday night, a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 69. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Is your personal information already being traded on the dark web?
Find out with Experian. Right now, Experian is offering a one-time dark web scan completely free. Go to Experian.com/scan to see if your information is on the dark web. Then learn how Experian can help protect your identity. Act now to help keep your personal information safe. Get your free dark web scan at Experian.com/scan today.
Let's dance, Grandma. You don't let anything keep you sidelined. Come on. That's why you drink Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals for the strength and energy to get back to doing what you love. Ensure, always be you.
Hi, so I just got off the phone with our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness. So the incredibly minor accident that I had tonight.
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Lily, she pretty much lives in her favorite princess dress. But once a week, I let her play sheriff so I can wash it. I use Tide to get out those week-old stains and Downy to get it fresh and soft.
You are free to go.
Tide and Downy together.
Dogs
used to hunt to satisfy their cravings. Now, the hunt is over. New Peak from Rachel Ray Nutrish. With 30% protein and 0% grains. Protein-rich Peak from Nutrish. Real recipes, real ingredients, real good.
For a limited time, you can get this fresh, juicy Boston Market rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. Now, your next few dinners are taken care of. Boston Market.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid.
Lease the 2017 NX Turbo for $299 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
I needed something more to help control my type 2 diabetes.
My A1C wasn't where it needed to be. So I liked when my doctor told me that I may reach my blood sugar and A1C goals by activating what's within me with once weekly Trulicity.
Trulicity is not insulin. It helps activate my body to do what it's supposed to do, release its own insulin.
I take it once a week and it works 24/7. It comes in an easy-to-use pen and I may even lose a little weight.
Trulicity is a once-weekly injectable prescription medicine to improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes when used with diet and exercise. Trulicity is not insulin. It should not be the first medicine to treat diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Trulicity if you or a family member has had medullary thyroid cancer, if you've had multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Trulicity. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have a lump or swelling in your neck, severe pain in your stomach, or symptoms such as itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis, which can be fatal. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, and indigestion. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may make existing kidney problems worse.
Once weekly Trulicity may help me reach my blood sugar goals. With Trulicity, I click to activate what's within me.
If you want help improving your A1C and blood sugar, activate your within. Ask your doctor about once weekly Trulicity.
Maria making landfall in Puerto Rico earlier today as a Category 4 hurricane. Check out the damage. This new video into us. Trees, power lines down. Crews are getting out there trying to remove some of the damage in the streets. And it even looks like some of the civilians were attempting to help out as well. We're going to check in with NBC's Gady Schwartz, who talked to some who rode out Maria in a San Juan shelter. But first, let's go to NBC's Gabe Gutierrez with an in-depth look at the destruction.
It showed little mercy. Tonight, Maria's destructive path is only starting to become clear. Swaths of Puerto Rico underwater, roads turned to raging rivers, roofs ripped off, trees toppled, cars overturned, power out to virtually the entire island.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Me? Never. This man says he feared for his life as the relentless storm slammed into his home this morning as a ferocious Category 4 hurricane. The situation here in San Juan is dire. The winds here have been intensifying, and the worst is yet to come. We have sought shelter in a concrete structure, but as you can see, it is a scene of utter chaos. After dodging most of Hurricane Irma's wrath days ago, Puerto Rico and its 3.5 million American citizens bore the brunt of Maria for hours. As the storm passed, we got our first look at the damage. Some homes obliterated, residents in shock.
It was really scary.
Maria, the strongest storm to ravage Puerto Rico in nearly a century, first sliced through the Caribbean. Overnight, Maria battered St. Croix, the largest of the U.S. Virgin Islands.
It's very scary. The wind with the noises going all around you.
In St. Thomas, widespread flooding as residents were just beginning to clean up after Hurricane Irma's direct hit. The storm's trail of devastation leaving much of the remote island of Dominica in ruins. This aerial video, the first to emerge after Maria's fury cut off communications. Tonight, as Puerto Rico begins to assess its damage, many residents like Mireya Aragon don't know if they'll have homes to return to.
How horrible is it to look around and see this island like this?
It's very sad. It's very, very sad. Very heartbroken.
An island without power and now seemingly without enough resources to cope with an unfolding disaster. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
This is Gotti Schwartz. In the dark halls of this San Juan Sports Coliseum, one of Puerto Rico's sturdiest hurricane shelters. Here, huddled shapes hunch over radios. Children play in shadows. And outside, Hurricane Maria's winds and rain ravaged Puerto Rico. It's an awakening, a rude awakening. This was the last 24 hours for hundreds of families like Maria Nissenbaum's taking shelter from the storm.
What's going to happen when we get out of here? What will we end up seeing? It's very hard.
At first in cots spread out across the massive concrete Coliseum floor, but then the worst of Hurricane Maria, bursting metal doors open. People joining hands to pray. Quickly, they moved to the safety of the outer wings as water and debris rained down from the roof. And through the storm, one voice trying to calm the refugees. This is the mayor of San Juan, Carmen Yulín Cruz, who stayed here with her family at the Coliseum.
I understand how difficult it is.
She's gotten regular reports of what lies outside, and her heart breaks for those they couldn't reach.
I'm just concerned that we may not get to everybody in time. And that is a great weight on my shoulders.
She's among those who will find their homes and neighborhoods devastated. But for now, she can't think of that. She can only think of keeping her city together.
We need each other. I need them more than they need me.
A feeling shared among many, holding on to each other for strength in what's to come.
And we're all thinking of the people in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands and Dominica, because just the devastation we don't fully grasp yet. We don't have all the facts yet, and unfortunately, it's not over right now in Puerto Rico. The heavy rain, potentially catastrophic flooding, currently underway, and we're going to take a look at this storm and where it goes next. Coming up right after this.
Long live the courageous, the tenacious, the ones who push forward and give back. Long live the greater good, the helping hand, and long live the truck built to outlast them all. Ram, proven to last.
Now with 1,000 Power Days bonus cash, get an average $11,971 in total values on Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
As hurricane season continues, there is one place to turn to and to trust. Preparing you to stay safe, keeping you ahead of the uncertain. Experts breaking down the science behind each system.
As long as people are dealing with a hurricane, I'm going to be standing right here making sure they stay safe.
Every season, every storm, every time you watch. Trust in the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 67. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday, mostly cloudy. Thursday night, a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 69. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I take pictures of sunrises, but with my back pain, I couldn't sleep and get up in time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve.
I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Need deep, long-lasting pain relief? Try Salonpas Deep Relieving Gel. 3 powerful medicines penetrate and treat pain for up to 8 hours. Need faster relief? Try Salonpas Jet Spray. Works on contact, freezing pain fast. Salonpas.
Keeps ice for days, stays tough for a lifetime.
For $250, you'll be one happy camper. Cabela's Polar Cap Equalizer Cooler. Great price, lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's.
You guys don't happen to know a good handyman, do you?
Maybe
Outstanding. Could you possibly do a background check on them?
Also, get a bunch of quotes.
Then book an appointment for, say, Tuesday?
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything Home Advisor can. So to find and book a top-rated home pro for free, just ask Home Advisor.
I want the most out of my health and life, so I trust Nature Made vitamins. Because they were the first to be verified by USP for quality and purity standards, and because I recommend them as a pharmacist.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Dogs have evolved, but their nutritional needs remain instinctual. That's why there's Purina One True Instinct. Nutrient-dense, protein-rich, real meat #1. This is a different breed of natural nutrition. Purina One True Instinct.
How can I help you today?
Yeah, I need to file a claim. My central air stopped working and needs to be replaced.
Oh, sorry, your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover air conditioners.
So what do you cover?
Well, home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse.
Covered.
But not my air conditioner.
But his air conditioner would have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, from his electrical system to his water heater, and more. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But award-winning American Home Shield helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
For a limited time, save $45 on an American Home Shield home warranty. Call 1-800-981-5696. Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield.
Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust in the Weather Channel.
This is Hurricane Central, and this is a look at some of the damage in Puerto Rico after some of the wind blew through. And another reminder, looking at the traffic lights, that traffic, as we've heard in parts of Puerto Rico, including San Juan, could be out for months, possibly a half a year, early estimates right now. And it's not 100% recovery right now. We are still in it in parts of Puerto Rico, and this is a life-threatening situation unfolding as we speak. Unfortunately, from when the storm was really starting to pick up, we were watching with us last night. We were watching Paul Goodlow, and the storm roared ashore during the overnight and early morning hours. And unfortunately, now 24 hours later, some parts of Puerto Rico may be seeing the worst of it right now. And that is not over, and it may be far from over. For that and some perspective, some expert analysis on this, Liana and Dr. Nab are here to shed some light on what's happening right now.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris. And Dr. Nab, you were the former director of the National Hurricane Center. And I mean, I have to ask you, have you seen anything like this in your years of hurricane experience?
Not in Puerto Rico. I mean, certainly around the globe and even other parts of the Atlantic Basin, Gulf and Caribbean, we've seen major hurricane hits, even Cat 5. Back in 2007, Dean and Felix both hit land at Cat 5 in Mexico and Nicaragua. And we've seen flash flood disasters, but this is the worst event in Puerto Rico that I've seen in my career, and this is arguably the worst hurricane hit that people who've lived there a long time have seen, and not just because of the wind. It's because of the water, and right now I fear we have a flash flood catastrophe unfolding in many parts of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, you mentioned last night, I mean, you already talked about, you know, how heavy the rain will be. And unfortunately, it wasn't just with the first half of Maria, and we're kind of starting to see it push off and away from the island, but it's what's happening right now that's still occurring.
Yeah, and we don't have radar coverage right now available from Puerto Rico, but you can tell on the satellite imagery, look at all those purples on the southeast side of the hurricane still impinging upon the island of Puerto Rico, and the flow into the island is being enhanced by the terrain. And so even with a tropical wave or a depression or tropical storm, this could happen. When you've got a hurricane with this much moisture, you're going to see this occur. So if we had radar right now, which we don't, I would imagine we'd see some really nasty bands over the western part of Puerto Rico where you see that real blow up of the purples, the really cold cloud tops, but it's happening everywhere. In the central and eastern Puerto Rico, it's still raining, and heck, it's still raining raining in the Virgin Islands with some intermittent squalls. So it's going to be well into tomorrow, Liana, before the rain really starts to let up in Puerto Rico. So, I mean, really, we do have flash flood warnings and emergencies ongoing right now in Puerto Rico. As we speak, people could be getting water raging down mountainsides into their homes. I mean, that's how bad this is right now.
Yeah, those mudslides are very serious. I mean, we've already had some instances and some videos showing the full frontal view of all those rivers just rushing down, turning streets into rivers. And I mean, look at this, Dr. Nab. I mean, this is just so sad to see how much of the island is under duress.
Yeah, it's almost the entire island that's under a flash flood warning. But just to give you an example, here's the one that's in effect till midnight local time. It does include the San Juan area and everything upslope from them. But also as an example, in this Comerío area, Comerío, there's that Rio de la Plata basin that flows all the way up to Dorado on the Atlantic coast, and they've had a flash flood emergency going on tonight, and we don't know just how bad it is. But the Weather Service office in San Juan, when they issued that flash flood emergency, said based on what we're seeing from the river gauge data that's higher than it's ever been, probably exceeding the capability of the gauge to even measure it, that we're probably seeing catastrophic flooding. So it is really a scary situation, and it's not letting up yet. Another foot of rain could occur, especially as the flow on the east and southeast side of the hurricane continues to come up from the south and southwest into that mountainous terrain, and that's why maybe the rainfall totals might be less on the northern side. But in any event, more rain into the mountains means more water raging down the valleys.
And this isn't just for tonight. If you notice the timestamp right there, it was through from now into Friday, so we still have a couple more days of very heavy rain from Maria.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of times what happens, like tomorrow evening when the hurricane is out here, you could still have trailing bands affecting Puerto Rico. But then, as it does move away, it does threaten the Turks and Caicos, and we can't rule out some potential impacts on the east coast of the United States and or in Bermuda, left side of that cone. You can't even rule out a landfall in the U.S. just yet next week.
I mean, and that's scary to think. I think everyone's very on edge, especially after what we saw in Puerto Rico. Continuing coverage of Jose and Maria continues until 1 a.m. Eastern.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 67. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday, mostly cloudy. Thursday night, a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 69. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hurricane Maria carves a path of destruction across the Caribbean, first making landfall as a Category 5 storm Monday in Dominica, with a wind of 160 miles per hour and leaving 7 people dead.
Then the U.S. Virgin Islands, where more than 2 feet of rain fell, President Trump approving a disaster declaration 2 days ago. And then it went on to make landfall at 6:15 this morning in Puerto Rico as a Category 4 with winds of 155 miles per hour, the strongest hurricane to hit Puerto Rico since 1928.
The entire island of 3.5 million people currently without power, 90% of Puerto Rico without water, as heavy rain and catastrophic flash flooding continue for parts of the Caribbean. Thank you for joining us even for our special hurricane coverage. I'm meteorologist Mike Bettis.
And I'm meteorologist Alex Wilson. Hurricane Maria now a Category 2 storm, but the threat is not over yet.
All right, let's get right to our hurricane expert, Dr. Rick Knapp. He's got more on Maria, where it goes from here, but it's already done a lot of damage already, Dr. Knapp.
And it's still raining in Puerto Rico and will into tomorrow, so I fear we have an ongoing flash flood catastrophe in many parts of Puerto Rico. And yes, other land areas are at risk. The Turks and Caicos, portions of the Bahamas, and even the east coast of the United States not off the hook for direct impacts from Maria. as we get into early next week. Right now, it's a Category 2 hurricane as of the 8 p.m. intermediate public advisory from the National Hurricane Center. They have had Air Force hurricane hunters that have flown from Curacao measuring the pressure at 958, so not as strong of a hurricane, not as low of a pressure as last night, but still formidable, especially in terms of the water, that it is still capable of dropping from the sky. We still have very heavy rainfall in the southeastern quadrant happening over Puerto Rico as we speak. Hurricane's moving to the northwest, but it will be well into tomorrow before the rain really starts to stop in Puerto Rico. And because of the rain that has already fallen, 2 to 3 feet of rainfall in some spots already, we have numerous river gauges in major flood stage in Puerto Rico, numerous flash flood warnings, even flash flood emergencies for portions of the island. And that's because, even though we don't have radar data coming in anymore because of the effects of the hurricane, where these purple cloud tops are, almost certainly we're getting very heavy rainfall on the southeast side of the hurricane, and anything coming into the island, moisture and wind-wise, is going to squeeze out additional moisture because of the mountains. The rain falls on the mountains, gets funneled down valleys, downslope, and that's why we're seeing so many flash flood warnings. Here's one in the northwestern portion of the island in Aguadilla, in effect till 12:30 in the morning local time, and then one north central part of the island near Vega Baja and Vega Alta, this until 11:45 local time. Here's one in effect for San Juan and areas upslope from there, including Guaynabo, until midnight local time. We could go on and on. Basically, the whole island undergoing a flash flood warning or flash flood emergency, life-threatening situation. It is really devastating that what could be happening. We don't know the extent of all of the flash flooding and mudslides that could be occurring even as we speak, but we do know more rain is on the way, perhaps another foot, especially on the southern half of the island because of the terrain squeezing out the moisture as flow comes in from the south and southwest in some trailing bands from Maria. As Maria heads northwestward, again, it could affect the Turks and Caicos. There are warnings in effect for portions of the Bahamas as well. Also, Bermuda could be in play, and also the east coast of the United States. Can't rule out some impacts there. We do have multiple aircraft flying in and around the hurricane. Here's the Air Force plane that has gone through once. They're about to come through from the northwest. We'll update you on the data there. And then also, Mike, we have the NOAA G4 jet flying out of Barbados that is getting data that's going to go into the models to try to refine that track forecast for Maria relative to the east coast.
All right, Dr. Knapp, great information there. Thank you very much. And flooding and landslides, the big concerns in Puerto Rico from Hurricane Maria. Rivers of mud and water just gushing through the streets of Guayama. More than 20 inches of rain reported in some locales. 10 rivers are in major flood stage right now. 4 rivers have set new record crests. Some of those rivers still rising. So let's talk more about what's happening for us with the rain, with the flood threat here. If you take a look at the map, numerous counties are under flash flood warnings right now. It's just the southern side of the island that's without at this point. But places like Ciales, Morovis, Orocovis, those are all counties that right now have a flash flood warning. So that will include areas in and around San Juan, the capital, by the way. So just keep in mind that we've got some bigger issues that are happening for us right now. Let's take a look at Comerio here in Puerto Rico. Look at where this has gone to. About 80 feet, the latest observation. The previous record was 29. That's truly an astounding number. That number could even go up, believe it or not, from here. Take a look at Ciales here. This is now latest observation, about 42.5 feet. Previous record, 25 feet. So obviously we've got issues that are ongoing for us here across Puerto Rico. Look at the rainfall that's happened for us here. There's some locations, especially with the mountains, that have really been hammered. 8 to 12 inches of rain. And I would say that's even probably a conservative estimate to go from now through Friday, okay? But keep in mind, the terrain makes everything worse because all that rain is enhanced over the mountains, comes down out of the mountains, and then quickly flows down the hillsides here, causes landslides, mudslides, and then really fills up the rivers very, very quickly. Here's a look at Maria here again, down towards, say, Putacana here. We've got forecast of 1 foot to 1.5 feet of rain still to go for us, unfortunately, around Port-au-Prince, 2 to 3 inches here. So around the Dominican Republic and Haiti, epic rain could come our way as well. We could see similar issues that we had in Puerto Rico, Alex.
All right, we got to watch that closely, and also along our east coast. Huge waves roared over parts of the Jersey Shore. Take a look at the surfers in Cape May riding the rough surf. This created by Jose. The storm continues to push north into cooler waters, but it is still creating waves and dangerous rip currents all along the East Coast. Let's get you the very latest on Tropical Storm Jose. Remember, went from hurricane to tropical storm last night. Still a tropical storm with winds at 65 miles per hour, moving to the northeast. So we continue that northeastward motion. Tropical storm warnings continue out on Nantucket, also for the Cape of Massachusetts, where we could see the gusty winds. That's really the only threat zone for the rain and the winds, though. As it meanders, as we go through the upcoming few days, we are going to be watching for more dangerous rip currents, more big waves along the East Coast. So something to keep in mind if maybe you've got beach plans Friday and the weekend. Now through Friday in Cape Cod, you're going to see 25+ mile per hour gusts, the 40+ mile per hour gusts. Really now and into the evening. By the time we get done with this, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rainfall out on the Cape. In Nantucket, now through early Thursday, that's your 50+ mile per hour gust time frame. Rainfall also 1 to 2 inches. You could see gusts of 25+ miles per hour, though, as we head into the start of the weekend. And coming up, we've got much more on Hurricane Maria, also the widespread damage it left behind in Puerto Rico. We're going to take you there live for the very latest when we come back.
Let's dance, Grandma.
You don't let anything keep you sidelined.
Come on.
That's why you drink Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals for the strength and energy to get back to doing what you love. Ensure, always be you.
When you want to put allergies with nasal congestion on notice, find fast all-day sweet relief behind the pharmacy counter with Claritin D. Strut right on past that eye and tell your stuffed-up nose to stuff it with non-drowsy Claritin D, a steroid-free allergy medicine that contains the best oral decongestant. It starts working in as little as 30 minutes, so you can get back to living the good life. Live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
COPD makes it hard to breathe. So to breathe better, I go with a Noro.
COPD tries to say go this way. I say I'll go my own way with a Noro.
Once daily Anoro contains 2 medicines called bronchodilators that work together to significantly improve lung function all day and all night. Anoro is not for asthma. It contains a type of medicine that increases risk of death in people with asthma. The risk is unknown in COPD. Anoro won't replace rescue inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than once a day. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition, high blood pressure, glaucoma, prostate, bladder, or urinary problems. These may worsen with Anoro. Call your doctor if you have worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain while taking Anoro.
Ask your doctor about Anoro.
Get your first prescription free at Anoro.com.
Those moments where we're dealing with life-threatening situations, we have a charge. We have a responsibility.
You have purpose. You have to get these people out of harm's way.
I'm telling people on TV the exact same thing that I would tell my family members.
And that's really what we're trying to do here, is to make sure people stay as safe as they can and save lives.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 67. Winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 60%. Thursday, mostly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Thursday night, a few clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 69. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you're in a spot without power, you have not been forgotten. If you feel like you're abandoned, you are not. We're still in this together. The Weather Channel continues to give you coverage. We're going to get through this.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do? Drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
You each drive a Ford pickup, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you a next-generation pickup.
Awesome. Let's do this.
The bed is made of high-strength steel, which is less susceptible to punctures than aluminum.
The stronger, the better.
And best of all, this new truck is actually the current Chevy Silverado.
Current Chevy owners and lessees get a total value of $10,600 or 0% financing for 72 months on this Silverado All-Star. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
I would say kind of impatient about having Maria leave our shores so that we can get on with the reconstruction and recovery part of any search that needs to be done to see really what the damage is, not only in the terms of the human sense, but also in the terms of the social sense. How many people have lost their homes, have lost their memories, have lost anything?
And Hurricane Maria is still bringing problems. Strong winds, heavy rain across the island of Puerto Rico. Many places have seen up to 24 inches of rain just within the last 24 hours.
Also, widespread power outages. The Weather Channel's Paul Goodlow is there in San Juan with a closer look at the conditions. Paul?
Sun is setting here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We're about, 12 hours or more now since landfall of Category 4 Hurricane Maria came through this area and laid waste to it as well. In fact, one of the victims right here, street sign, ripped off this pole here. Now, look around. There is still a lot of debris, a lot of damage, not only from today in Maria, but also because of Irma a couple of weeks ago. We're staying at the Hyatt Place Hotel. We have a generator, but their sister hotel across the street, the Hyatt House, take a look. It's in the dark. Unfortunately, their generator has failed. So now they're pulling everyone out of that hotel because it's just not safe. That means they have no running water anymore, no hot water, but no air conditioning. And again, as we head on towards tomorrow, we'll probably see a lot more sunshine. It is going to heat up again because, again, we're in the tropics. So look for temperatures to be quite uncomfortable with humidity as cleanup begins the day after Hurricane Maria.
All right, Paul Goodlow there in Puerto Rico, where the entire island without power. So it's
3.5 million people right now in the dark, unfortunately. They have a curfew, by the way. The governor mandated curfew 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That goes until 6 a.m. Saturday. So the entire week, basically, the rest of the week, they're going with a curfew because he said that the important thing right now is to keep everybody off the streets, and safety is the main thing. So Puerto Rico, right here, you can see now how at least the eye of Maria has skirted now northwest of the country. But now we think that the Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos, and Bahamas, the next victims, unfortunately.
Yeah, Puerto Rico did a bit of a number on it, taking it down to a Cat 2. Still winds 110 miles per hour. That northwest motion continues. So as you mentioned, parts of the Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas could be affected, as well as the northern tier of the Dominican Republic.
This is what we love to see, though, is a northerly turn. The center track is the most likely location for it, but we do think that a little bit of strengthening could happen in the short term here. But can we get this thing to spin more out into the open waters of the Atlantic? That'd be the best scenario. That
is what we'd like to see, is split the uprights between Bermuda and the U.S. In the Turks and Caicos, it's going to be late Thursday into late Saturday that you notice those winds gusting 40+ miles per hour. The main show coming Friday. And remember, we just had a very hard hit from Irma in the Turks and Caicos, so we're looking at a storm surge forecast up to 15 feet. It's not a good forecast by any stretch of the imagination, and rainfall up to a foot. Yeah, and the Turks and Caicos, not a hilly island by any means, relatively flat. So when you talk about a storm surge up to 15 feet, most locations will likely be
coastal areas could be inundated, no question about that. You take a look at the winds. It's got a fairly small area where we've got the really, really high winds, okay? Even though the wind field itself has expanded when we did an eye wall replacement yesterday, you can see where the center stays mostly away from the Dominican Republic here. However, north side here could get some storm surge with that north wind that comes in. But notice Turks and Caicos sitting right in here. You're going to be pretty close to hurricane force winds, we think. Yeah, it could be another tough go for them after seeing the impacts of Irma. Then we look at the Bahamas as we get into late Friday. Our thinking is that this will stay a bit east, but of course, if you're in the Bahamas, you want to watch this one closely. Look at these wave heights already. Nearly 22 feet reported here to buoy between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. So think about the waves that'll propagate around Dominican Republic on the North Shore there. It's going to be a very tough go.
Yeah, and that will continue into the day Thursday. By late Friday now, we begin to watch the Turks and Caicos into the weekend, the Bahamas and the U.S. Even though this will stay likely offshore, still, you're going to see the same impacts that we had from Jose. Large waves, dangerous rip currents.
For sure. A lot more to come. We'll have more on Hurricane Maria. Talk with storm trackers who wrote it out.
Yeah.
A triangle solo? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Sam and Joanna saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
With catering delivery from Olive Garden, we make the food and deliver right to your door. So you won't have to lift a finger. Just a fork.
I had so many reasons for not losing weight. For putting it off? Sound familiar? It's time to take control with Nutrisystem.
Introducing new Lean 13 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guaranteed.
You gain energy, you improve your health, and you lose weight. I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now. With Lean 13, you'll get specially designed meals, plus 1 week of new NutriCrush bars to crush cravings free, and 1 week of Turbo Shakes to bust belly bloat free.
Belly fat? Got that under control, too.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes, and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Millions of people have lost weight on Nutrisystem.
It's time to take control.
Go online or call 888-315-DIET right now and get new Lean 13 with bars and shakes free.
I've seen them all. Big, small, wide, slim. Just Wyatt Men's Warehouse, we create the perfect fit. Now, there's buy one, get one free store-wide. Because no matter what size your label says, it's time to like the way you look.
I think what makes the Weather Channel's coverage unique is that we are meteorologists. We know what's going on with the weather.
Those moments where we're dealing with life-threatening situations, we have a charge. We have a responsibility.
You have purpose. You have to get these people out of harm's way.
I'm telling people on TV the exact same thing that I would tell my family members.
And that's really what we're trying to do here, is to make sure people stay as safe as they can and save lives.
We just had our first son, and we were shopping for our first home. We found one that was absolutely perfect. But we were scared to lose it because friends told us getting a mortgage was really complicated. Luckily, we found Guaranteed Rate, and our experience was nothing like our friends. It was actually quick and simple. It only took minutes to get approved and get a really low rate. And now, the home is ours. It's a dream.
Experience the Guaranteed Rate difference at Rate.com today. The difference of Guaranteed Rate's digital mortgage, which only takes minutes to get the perfect loan. The difference of the intuitive loan finder that provides you with real-time rates and loan options. And the difference of amazing low rates that could save you thousands of dollars, all with the help of an experienced loan officer.
Everything was so easy. I still can't believe my kids will grow up here.
Visit Rate.com or call 1-888-288-6644 today. Guaranteed Rate. Our difference makes all the difference.